Distracted? I'm not distracted. I'm a very disciplined, hardworking person. I get lots of things done. I'm not someone who is vulnerable to being distracted by some dumb thing like social media. Yeah. Okay, so if you believed me in that first part of this video, I've got some oceanfront property to sell you in Idaho. I was doing an awesome job at resisting being distracted by all the things that are vying for our attention, all the companies that are getting really good at figuring out how to distract us, how to pull our attention from what we want to be focusing on to what they want us to be focused on. I'm not someone who has to have my phone with me every 5 seconds. I'm not someone that is checking social media every 15 minutes, but I have noticed some changes in myself, especially over the past few months, and it's bugging me. I'm like, what is going on here? I finally realized this is distraction. This is distraction's effect on my attention and my ability to focus. I'm not bragging when I tell you guys that I am good at focusing. I'm good at researching, keeping my mind on what I'm doing. Typically, this is not a problem for me at all. But I have noticed lately that I'll be working on the sequel to my new book, which is coming out soon. I can't wait to tell you all about it. I'm working on it and I'm in the scene and everything, and all of a sudden I gotta go check social media somewhere, or I gotta check how I'm doing on Medium. By the way, I'm new on Medium. If you want to follow me, go there, Colleen M Story at Medium. But I'm noticing this stuff when I'm writing my story, and I'm like, what is the matter with me? What is going on? I don't usually do this. I'm afraid that I have to admit that I'm starting to be vulnerable to distraction. Here's what I discovered, that there are 3 signs that you too may be affected by distraction. And I'm going to be talking more about this in future videos. But for now, I just want to talk about the signs that I'm seeing in myself and that you may be seeing that I didn't realize at first were distraction. This is distraction. This is the effects of today's technology on your brain. If after writing on your story for a few minutes, even after maybe 15 minutes, you suddenly feel this urge to go check something, your social media feed, to go check and see if someone has responded to an email, to go check and see how many likes your post got. If you're starting to do that in the middle of working on your story or working on anything really, understand that that is a sign of distraction. That is a sign of your brain being changed by social media, technology, and the online internet world and the way that it is today. All these things are changing the way our brains work. If you are noticing this, that you can't focus on something for more than like 5 or 10 minutes before you gotta check something. If these thoughts are intruding on your writing and they're creating the urge that is too strong for you to resist, or maybe you're not trying to resist because you're not aware that this is distraction working on you, but you may even know that this is distraction and try to keep focusing on what you're doing, try to keep writing, and you just can't resist it. It's kind of like, there's a chocolate brownie sitting in front of you and you can't resist having a bite of it. You have to go check this thing. I mean, it's awful the way that this works on us. I'm very disturbed by this. So if you're starting to sense that when you're focused on something, that is a sign that you're distracted, and that is a result of today's world working on your brain. When you sit down to write or sit down to do any sort of focused work, you feel restless. You feel like it's really hard just to sit down and focus. You feel like you should be doing something, or doing this, or doing that, or checking this, or doing that. We're all getting very used to what we think is multitasking. We have several windows open on the computer doing different things at the same time. Maybe we're listening to an audiobook while we're cooking dinner, or we're talking to somebody while we're doing something else. I've mentioned in other videos that there's no such thing as multitasking. Your brain isn't really doing more than one thing at once. It's switching back and forth. Because of the way the world is today, we're all getting used to this constant switching back and forth. If we ask ourselves to sit down and focus on just one thing, just do this, just write your story. Don't think about anything else. Don't respond to anything else. Don't go do anything else. Just write the story. If you sit down with the intention of doing that and you feel restless, You feel this isn't right. I don't feel right doing this. Pins and needles, I feel like I got to be doing something else. And pretty soon you're opening up your browser and you're looking for something. If that's happening to you, that's another sign of distraction. That's another sign that your brain is being rewired. Yay! This is a sneaky one, because this is one that we don't realize is a result of distraction. And that is that you feel this general sense of anxiety. Anxiety is huge out there right now. I see everybody talking about it. Everybody's concerned about it. And we all think that it's because of the things that are going on in our lives, or the things that are going on around us, or the things that are going on in the world. And there's no doubt that there are a lot of things out there that can be anxiety producing. But if you're feeling this underlying sense of anxiety, and then you go to write, and that underlying sense of anxiety tends to kind of tick up a little bit. We all fight self-doubt. We all worry that maybe what we're going to produce that day won't be very good, or that this story we're working on isn't going to flesh out the way that we hoped it would. But there is a clear connection between this underlying low-level anxiety that is occurring in a lot of us. That is the result of this way that our brains are being rewired. Now, I'm not saying this is the case for you, because there are many causes of anxiety. I always would suggest that you, if it's a real problem, that you talk to a counselor about it or talk to a friend about it. But if you're just feeling something kind of at a low level, it's not really disrupting your life, but you feel that it's different than it used to be, or that it's kind of existing at a steady level rather than, rising when you really do need to be anxious and then falling. It's just kind of always there. And when you sit down and try to focus on something, those kind of feelings tend to bubble up a little bit more, because you suddenly are more attuned to your inner self. We go to write, we're pulling from our inner selves to create this story. Your inner creative muse is now working with you to produce this new thing, this thing that has never existed before, your story. So as we're doing that, we naturally become a little more aware of our internal states. So that sense of anxiety can kind of come to the fore a little bit. And it can be similar to the restlessness I talked about a minute ago, but it's more of a fearful edge to it. If you're feeling that, that could also be a sign that you are distracted. Usually in my videos, I like to offer solutions at the same time that I'm offering problems, but I'm researching this right now. So I'm kind of looking to see, is this a problem that you guys are having? Is this something you're noticing? Is this something that people who usually are not vulnerable to distraction, like I didn't think I was, are suddenly starting to experience? If this is you, please leave me a comment down below and I'll know that this is something that I should continue to pursue, continue to start researching and seeing what's going on here, and what we can do about it. How can we fix this? Because really, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to be writing away and then feel this urge that I have to go check some stupid thing. So let me know what you think. I want to hear from other writers on this issue.